Hello viewers and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy. We have made a very quick trip back to Matoya's cave, just for one very simple reason. We spoke to one of these brooms earlier on and got this strange message, flip her over, flip flip, Elkric Dana Trats. And the bottom part of that, which is backwards, which says start and circle. This isn't actually a reference to the way it's sweeping the floor. This is actually a little trick in the game. Basically, with the PlayStation controller, if you press start and circle together, we are treated to a map of the world, which we can even zoom in and scroll around. So, this is pretty handy. It lets us see all of the places we've been to. Our ship, which is parked here, we are currently at Matoya's cave. The Temple of Chaos is over there. Cornelia's down there. Provoca's over there. So we can kind of see where we're going. We had travelled kind of all the way around and went to the port just down from where the Temple of Chaos is, just under where the pointer is there. We landed on that little bit of land. There is another port down there, down south of Cornelia, which appears to be next to a reasonably large town. So I think that will be our destination. So with that, before we head down there, I'm going to do a little bit of leveling up to try and strengthen our party a little bit. So I will do some of that off camera and then we will reconvene to continue our journey. Okay, we've done a little bit of grinding. Levels haven't really gone up at the moment. We're still a bit away from the next level, but we have managed to grind out a bit of gold. So we are going to go to the shops and buy some new stuff. Okay, so one thing we're going to do is buy some new weapons. We should now be able to buy pretty much everything we need from here. I'm going to go with 2 broadswords for these guys. There's nothing really better for our mages at this point, so I'm gonna equip these. So remove the rapier, which only affects attack and accuracy. The broadsword, again, it increases our accuracy as well as our attack, just more. So same with Helio. That will be fine. I recall there wasn't really much else in the way of really anything that we could get at this point, although we could look at getting some better armour potentially for Zedrum if we've got enough money left. We are going to buy some magic spells as well. Okay, so we're going to want the ice spell. I'm going to want that for our black mage. I think we'll probably go for slow, which is reasonably useful. And now, do we want fog or steel? I'll go with fog for just now. If we decide it doesn't work that well, we can always change it out later. I think I'll also buy an ice spell for a red mage. We can use all of these spells. I might buy in some white magic though as well, just for some extra healing options. And that means we'll be going up to the white magic shop. What do we have here? So we have Lamp, which cures darkness. Silence, which prevents foes from casting spells. Now that might be a useful one. Null Bolt, which reduces lightning damage by 50%. And Invis 1, which raises evasion by 40 points, which is quite a lot. None of these spells are amazing. Silence we are going to want. We'll take Silence. I'll take null bolt, I suppose. We'll take null bolt. We'll take invis 1. We'll give a red mage silence as well. And give him lamp, just since nobody else got lamp. That still leaves us with a few thousand gold. So we can pop over to the armor shop. And let's see what they got. If there's anything worthwhile. So we could get the steel plate. We can afford that. So we'll get some steel plate for Zedrum. And aside from that, everything else is what it is. So we will equip that. Equip our steel plate now. Just out of interest, what else did that actually change? I'd imagine... Yes, it does reduce the evasiveness further, so it's clearly, obviously quite heavy armour, it's slowing him down a little bit. However, the increase in defence makes up for that, I think. So we'll take that. The rest of our equipment we can probably just sell at this point. So that's 2 rapiers, which I'd imagine are never going to be used again. We can sell them for next to nothing. We can sell our chainmail for next to nothing. Okay, and the rest of our money can probably just go on items and stuff just now. Pick up a few of these just for emergencies. So, might buy... I'm going to buy 3 tents. 3 sleeping bags, 5 antidotes, and just go for 10 potions. So just we'll get ourselves stocked up a little bit just in case of emergencies. Okay, now we'll head out of the town. So we're back in Provoca here. That's pretty much stocked up on everything, so we've got a party about as good as they're going to get before getting to the next town and getting to buy more stuff. So grinding out the money to actually do this stuff in the meantime is probably the hardest part. If anyone's wondering, the way I got the money to do that, it's a little secret game that you can do from the ship. Basically, if you hold down the X button and press the circle button something like 55 times, eventually you will be taken to a little secret mini game, 15 puzzle. So you're timed. It's one of these horrible little games that I'm really bad at. You've got to get all the numbers in the right order. I hate these things really a lot. I'm not very good at them, so I mean you can actually use this to grind out quite a bit of money if you're good at the game. If we go to start, this is where we get the records. Interestingly enough, it also pauses the timer. You'll see there's first, second, and third place. If you beat the times on the scoreboard, you get a nice bonus. So simply completing the puzzle gets you 100 gold. If you beat the second place, we beat the second place time, which got us 5,000 gil. I believe if you beat the first place time, you get 10,000. So we get the 5,000 for coming second, and to be honest, I'm probably not going to be able to beat any times. I'm really bad at these. There's probably a technique to do it that I'm just not very good at finding it. We want to get the 3 up to the top there. Where's 4? 4 is gone. Walkabout. Oh no, it's way down the other side. That's not good. We want 4 to be making its way across here. Fortunately, it's going to be the wrong way around. If we can perhaps see if we can get the 4 to kind of come up next to the 3, like that. And then of course we get the problem of getting it actually into the slot that we want it to. Now they're backwards, that's not great, it's not what we want. Now they're not going to be next to each other anymore. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm not very good at this. Got them round the wrong way again. Oh. So this is not going to be a method that I'm going to be particularly using to get a lot of money, because I am atrocious at these games. I give up. I'm not even going to do this anymore. But yeah, we did it that one time. I managed to actually complete the puzzle and we got 5,000 gil for it. So that's enabled us to buy the... buy some weapon and armour upgrades. Now, how are we for health and stuff? Everyone's healed up, that's fine. We are at C. I'm going to pop out of here for a little bit and we're going to take a little wander back down this way. As you might remember, we were kind of wandering around here before without much of an aim, and we did kind of get our ass kicked and got ourselves into fights that we couldn't really deal with. There is a little area up to the north of here which we're going to check out. It might be something that will speed up our leveling a little bit. Bleh, I can't even speak anymore. It might be something that will speed up our Let me try that again. It might be something that will speed up our leveling a little bit. There we go, third time lucky. Yeah, so there's a little area to the north of here which we should get to without too much difficulty. Whether we'll be able to actually fight anything there, I don't know, but we'll make our way up nonetheless. We'll head up here. What do we have? Oh, 2 ogres this time. Okay, so this might be a little more challenging. We will use our ice spell, which is probably the most powerful magic that we've got at the moment. Although that did a fairly good job of taking out that. Maybe I shouldn't have been so worried about that there. Seems Zedram with his new weapon is capable of doing quite a bit of damage to these things. Assuming he doesn't miss. Oh, even Helio. Helio hit him for 50 HP there, and that was good. That was a good hit. So these guys aren't too much of a problem to us at the moment. And we're getting a few random encounters on the way up here. Ghasts wandering around the wilderness. These guys weren't so tough. I don't remember them being a particular problem in the Temple of Chaos, although they do have an attack that can paralyse your party, which is not good. That could be problematic. I don't really want to be fighting just with our mages here. Really need the paralysed guys to get back up, ideally. Hopefully they will get up this turn. They do get back up eventually, but it's difficult to say when we'll be doing that. I don't think there's any item that we can use, at least not yet, that we can use to cure paralysis. Helio has got back up, and he's back down, for God's sake. Yeah, clearly the Ghasts were not particularly tough when we were fighting one of them at a time in the Temple of Chaos. Fighting 3 of them at once seems to be paralyse locking some of our characters here, unfortunately. Well, that's 1 down. We could, I suppose, to speed this up a little bit, we could use some magic. We have the Dia spell, which casts at all of the enemies, which is quite useful. And we also get the fire spell, which I know is super effective against these things. There we go, that takes care of that. Zedram is leveled up. And Helio. Not the other 2, as they did die at one point and everyone's out of sync. But this is getting towards the area that we're talking about. Ooh, we have a new enemy here, an Ogre Chieftain. Right, I think probably we could... Alright, that's unfortunately not one that I was hoping that was going to maybe affect the whole party, and that would be quite useful. It doesn't. Nah, I'm not going to waste that. Just attack this guy. See if we can take out the ogre there. Ideally we want to be doing more damage to it than that. I'm not sure how strong the Ogre Chieftain is going to be, so ideally we'll get rid of him quite quickly. Imagine the Ogre Chieftain is going to have probably more HP than the ogres. The ogres I think had about 100 HP. He's capable of doing a reasonable amount of damage. He's hitting Zedram for 10 plus damage at the moment. Hopefully he won't turn his focus on our mages. They could go down very quickly if this guy's quite strong. 18 damage on Zedram. That's quite a lot, considering he's our most defensively strong character. Right, we have taken out the Ogre Chieftain. Xantos has gained a level, and Heldar has also gained a level. They've gained quite a bit of HP this time around as well. That's good. So, let us very quickly check out the collections here. The Ogre Chieftain then, it has 132 HP, so it's not like massively more than the Ogre, though it does have reasonably high attack. What else have we seen? We've met a Sahagin chief. Now I did this off camera. This came in a group of, I think it was around about 7 Sahagin and 1 Sahagin chief. Compared to the Sahagin, it's quite a bit stronger, quite a bit more HP. And oh, the Ghast is actually a new enemy. I was thinking of the Ghoul. That's why I was getting mixed up. The Ghast is actually not the same enemy that we were fighting in the Temple of Chaos. It just looks the same because it's got the same sprite, just with a different coloration. I'd imagine then it is more... Yeah, it's got a bit more HP. That had 8 attack and 6 defense. It's got a higher defense, similar weaknesses, but it also has that ability to paralyze as well. So that's something that's got to be watched out for. I am going to use a tent, which should allow us to rest up here, and will give us the opportunity to save our game, which is going to be handy. So I'll save over this slot. I'm just using a couple of slots just to make sure nothing stupid happens. Okie dokie, so let's... I was hoping not to get another encounter immediately, but never mind. Oh, 4 ghasts. Okay. We're going to want to make use of the deer magic for this. It's quite a lot to be taken on at one time. Especially if they've got the potential to paralyze everyone. This could do quite a lot of damage to several of them. Yeah, there we go. That's taken pretty much all of them out. Left just with the one, and that should be that in this round. There we go. Yeah, Zedram has it sorted. That was less difficult than the last time. We did get quite a good amount of gil for it as well. We're heading up here. This little area just at the very top of the land. This may be a disaster, but we'll see what happens. Winter wolves. Right, this could be problematic if these guys are very powerful. That has done quite a bit of damage to us. Oh dear, we could be in a little bit of trouble here. This spell is very powerful. Yes, as you can see, this did not go very well. This little area here is what is known as the Peninsula of Power. We may be a little underleveled for it at the moment. We're not probably going to survive this battle, I don't think. Yeah, we're done. Game over. That is the Peninsula of Power, which is a little area just at the very top of that outcrop of land, which is... It was actually a little bit of a bug in the original game, the original NES release of the game. It's to do with the way that the game calculates where enemies appear on the map, but they're divided into zones essentially. And because this little bit of land juts just out into the next zone, which is meant to be the area to the north across the water, it results in enemies spawning that are much higher level, much more difficult than should really be in the area. As a result, it lets you access these quite high level enemies quite early on in the game, and this can be used for some power leveling essentially. You can, if you're careful and if you get the right battles at this bit, you can use this to gain quite a lot of experience early on. However, the battles are very difficult if you're not ready for them. Yeah, oh dear, we could be in some trouble here. We might be a little bit underleveled for this at this point in the game. Yeah, this is not happening. Okay, so we'll have one more little look up here and see if there's anything that we can actually kill. If not, we'll probably head back here later on at some point once we've leveled up a bit more. I think at this point in time, we're probably just not going to be strong enough to really win any battles in this little area. But we might get lucky. We'll give it one more try. 2 Necrotors and 1 Troll this time. So, yep, I think we are done. That would appear to be that. Yep, we are not strong enough to fight in the Peninsula of Power just yet, so we will leave here for just now. We might come back in a few levels' time, see if we can maybe do a little bit better. Because it is a great place to level up. You know, if you're strong enough to defeat these enemies, it's a really good place to pick up a lot of experience quite quickly. At the moment though, we are far too weak, so we will continue leveling up on our way across the ocean. For just now though, we're in reasonably good condition, so let's just take the boat, take it across, and we'll head towards the west, see what awaits us out there. Here is a shark. Sharks are not too strong, especially with our new weapons. We should be able to take pretty much anything out without too much difficulty over here. Nothing that we'd encountered in the ocean previously was all that difficult to defeat. So we'll continue sailing across this way. Now we're going to go to the south a bit here. Let's see if we can get our map up actually. Start and circle. Yeah, I can't seem to get the map to work at the moment. Never mind. We're going to be heading down the way. Here it is. Here is the port. And down from here, there should be a town, I believe. Okay, we have an ogre and 2 Gygus worms. We'll take out the Gygus worms first. Hopefully within the first couple of rounds. That wasn't so good. That one was a good hit though. That's taking him out. Take out the other Gygus worm. And then we'll focus our attacks on the ogre. And just using physical attacks with everyone again. I don't want to waste spells. I know we can take these guys out without too much difficulty. Especially with Zedram hitting for quite a high amount of damage for this point. Well, Helio is capable if he does get a critical hit or he gets an extra attack in, he can do quite a bit of damage as well. Not as much as Zedram, but never mind. Okay, here we have a town. Where is this? We've reached the town of Elfheim, where the elves live. This little dude looks somewhat familiar. It's a bit sort of like Link from The Legend of Zelda. Hello.
Please help our prince.
Our prince? Your prince is supposed to have the key that I need to open doors. What's happened to him? There's a little graveyard. May Erdrick rest in peace. R.I.P. R.I.P. Erdrick, I believe, is a character from the Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior series. There's a few places here to buy some magic, some armor. This is a churchy type place, so we can revive our characters there. And there's an armor shop as well. Hi, I'm a prophet. The vision will come to me eventually. I shall wait on meditation until then. Medication, yes. The prophet who needs to wait for his medication. Armor and weapons made from mithril are strong and powerful. Mithril, you say? Are you guys selling mithril weapons?
If the prince does not awaken, there will be no elf king, and the evil force of dark elves will conquer us all.
Oh dear, don't want that to happen, do we? I mostly want the key.
Once when I was travelling, I wandered into an ancient castle. But no one was there, so I ran off from that spooky place.
You're not very brave.
Our prince was supposed to be chosen to become the elf king, but now this.
What's happened to the prince?
I am a prophet. The vision will come to me eventually. I shall wait in meditation until then.
Okay, I guess we've got to wait for you to say something at some point later. We've got black magic available here for 4,000 a pop. We can't afford any of this just yet. We have the Sleep 2 spell. Ice 2. Haste is a very useful one to get. That will increase the speed of our characters. And Muddle confuses foes into turning on each other. That could potentially be an interesting one as well. I'm not sure how well it works in practice. We can't afford any of that just yet. There's also a white magic shop up here. Isuna, which cures poison. Fear, which drives foes away in terror. Null Ice, I believe that is. Although it does look a bit like Nulse. But Null Ice, which reduces ice damage, and Vox, which cures Mute. We haven't really experienced anything that uses Mute as an attack yet. So they're 4,000 each. There was some other shops, though, down here. There's another couple of magic shops. Let's go down to them, see what they actually have to sell. So we've got multiple magic shops in this town. The other black magic shop then, what do we have here? So these are 1,500. These, I guess, are level 3 magic spells, and the other shop must be level 4 magic spells. So we have Fire 2, Bolt 2, fairly self-explanatory. Bind paralyzes a foe, and Focus 2 lowers foes' evasion. But it's good to get the Fire and Bolt spells. The other one is on the other side of this river. What do we have here? So I guess these will be the equivalent for white magic. So again, 1,500 each. Cure 2, Dia 2, Nullfire, and Heal 1. So Heal 1's a useful one. It heals all allies rather than just one specific ally. That could be very useful given that there's quite a lot of... One thing we noticed up at the Peninsula of Power when we were briefly there, some enemies are using attacks which can hurt your entire party at once, like the Ice Storm attack that the Ice Wolves were using. They were hitting everyone at once, so you having a heal spell that heals everyone at once can be very useful. Right now, affordability is not great for that sort of thing, however. What about the weapons? Now, people mentioned a mithril sword. Is that something we can buy? Yes, it costs 4,000. Quite expensive. Cannot afford any of those. The saber is a long-bladed sword made for piercing. It's a lower attack, but it may have other qualities that might make it useful. I don't know what its other stats look like, but a crosshair staff topped with iron rings. The only person that can actually use that is our fighter. It's not going to be particularly useful to him. A dagger? It might be a good shout to get one of these for our black mage. It seems to be more powerful than the staff that he's wielding at the moment. Nobody can use the nunchaku. So we have the option of getting a dagger. Nobody's really explained to me what's happened to the prince. I'll be interested to know more about that. Right, we also have the option here, we have the steel plate armour, which we already have. Copper armlets. Now these can be worn by our mage characters. It costs 1,000 each and they confer 4 defence, which is possibly useful. We might be worth getting a couple of these for our mages. That will increase their defensiveness. An iron shield, which was a better shield than the one we've got. Leather caps. We can get leather caps for the rest of our party. We already have one for Zedrum there, so we could give that to someone else and get him a helmet, which is obviously superior 3 defense rather than 1. So there's a few things we could stock up on in here. We are going to need some more money, primarily, first of all. So that might be something that we could do around this area. I wonder how much it costs to sleep in the inn here. 100 gil per night. I don't think we need to just yet, but... Okay, so apparently something has happened to the prince. Not really sure what. Do you have anything to say?
No one knows where Astos, the king of dark elves, has gone.
Astos, the king of dark elves. He does not sound friendly. Has he captured the prince, perhaps? I don't really know what's happened to the prince, but... Never mind, there seems to be some sort of castle here as well. Let's go there. The Elven Castle. Maybe there'll be more explanation here.
Astos' curse has plunged our prince into a deep sleep, and nothing seems to wake him from it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. We have a bunch of elves that look very like Link, and we have a prince who has been plunged into a deep sleep. This sounds very familiar.
Astos stormed in one day, cast a curse on our prince, and emptied all of the castle's treasure vaults.
Oh no. Treasure vaults, not the treasure vaults. Did you have anything good in the treasure vaults? Is there anything left in the treasure vaults that I could maybe have? Oh, hello.
Astos cast a curse on our prince 5 years ago, cursing him to fall into a deep slumber. What can lift this curse?
I don't know. I'm no expert in curses. That would appear to be the Elven Prince, anyway. And there's a guy wandering around out here. What do you have to say for yourself?
I know I've heard of a witch who can concoct any potions. Matoya was her name, I think.
Yes, I've met Matoya. She is in need of a crystal eye, unfortunately. She cannot see anything at the moment.
There's a cave on the western edge of the Eldian Sea where dwarves dwell. A great bunch they are.
Ah, that's good to know. We'll seek out the dwarves at some point then. There also seems to be something up the back there. She might only be able to access from the outside. If we go up around the edge here. What's this?
This room is locked with the mystic key.
Yep. The mystic key. So I take it in order to get the mystic key, we're going to have to help this elf prince from his slumber at the moment. We're going to have to figure out how that's going to happen. So that's going to involve more exploring, undoubtedly. We're going to need to do some leveling up and gather some money as well, so that we can afford some more spells and some more weapons and armour, and then we can continue around here. In the meantime though, we'll call this the end of the video for just now. We've managed to get across the sea to Elfheim, where the next of our adventures will take place in this surrounding area. So thank you once again for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this so far. If you have, give us a like, leave us some feedback in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.